Wait, is it going? Click here to open a... Did I get it? Maybe? Oh, Mocktown. Okay, come on. Where is this? Wait, is it already working? How would I know if it was working? Actually, I don't know. It says you can see me, so if you can, I am so sorry for everything. Two watching. Oh, that's alarming. Hi. If you can see this, I have no idea what's going on. Could you say something into the live chat so I know whether or not it's working? Eh. Well, I don't understand anything. I am clearly very old, very foolish. Nobody said anything in the live chat, so I assume nobody can see me, but I am not actually sure enough. I don't understand any of this. I'm very old. Start the broadcast in YouTube. I did that. Now, did I actually publish the thing on Patreon? Maybe that's the problem? Of course, I almost had to have, because it says that I have 2 people watching, but if it hadn't been posted on Patreon, no one could watch it, right? Oh, a notification. Does it help? So. No, I don't understand any of this. Hello? If anybody is there, please send me a message so I know whether or not you can see me and hear me. Because I have no idea. don't want that. I don't want that. Well, it sure doesn't look like it's going, but it claims I'm going, so I guess I'm just gonna start talking? To watching. What are you watching? Yes, I still have so many questions regarding art. Talking? Oh. To watching. What are you watching? Yes, I still have so many questions regarding art. Talking? Oh. To watching. What are you watching? Hello? Hello? Yes, I still have so many questions regarding art. Talking? Oh. To watching. What are you watching? Hello? Hello? Yes, I still have so many questions regarding art. Talking? Oh. To watching. What are you... Is that what I needed to do? Did that change things? No. Oh! I think it did. Okay. Well, I am really hoping that this is working now. I have no idea about anything. Clearly, on the inside, I am actually 40,000 years old. So I got 2 comments about the Halloween prompt. One of them I didn't really know what to do with because it was in regards to the 1980s movie Gremlins that I have never seen. So I guess I'm going to try to focus on the other one, at least for now. I'm thinking probably a Naruto fandom piece, and the prompt that I got was vampires, smiley face, just vampires, if I recall correctly. So from here, I was thinking of 4 possible beginning points, kind of for setting it up. So like the first thing I was thinking of is the vampire character or characters as an intrusion into the world. So this would be a sort of writing scenario where it's almost like a self-insert, except it's a vampire. And this would have the possible benefit of just kind of importing a vampire wholesale into a place that knows absolutely nothing about them, which could be kind of funny. You could play that straight and have it be kind of horrifying, especially if they're not really messing around with shinobi. Although, of course, you could leave this to sort of set up a kind of basic mission type encounter thing, like maybe this vampire sets up shop, you know, in some some civilian village, and, you know, someone eventually hires Shinobi to come take care of it. So that's kind of scenario 1. Scenario 2 is one where the vampires have always been there, and people kind of know about it. So the benefit of this, I think it would be kind of fun and interesting to interpret and adapt the very sort of Western conception of vampires into the Narutoverse, which is, of course, very heavily influenced by Japanese thought and culture. And the secondary benefit of this, of course, is that you'd get to see how open vampires had sort of influenced the world and the culture, especially, you know, just what would Naruto characters do? Would there be vampire shinobi? Are they just totally blacklisted as bad people? Oh, you could do like a really cheesy, like, Romeo and Juliet type thing with that, I suppose, which could be very fun. And option 3, of course, is that the vampires have always been there in the Narutoverse, but secretly. So, you know, you could play this so that it was kind of like our world, where there's rumors and people kind of know about the idea of a vampire but just don't know that they exist, or they could be totally, totally secret, which seems, you know, kind of improbable and difficult, but, you know, possible. Am I edging my way the wrong way? Anyways. That would kind of, I guess to me, like, kind of the natural connection for that would be to have the vampires be part of some kind of underground system or society, which would allow you to make the cast of characters bigger and maybe introduce different types of supernatural creatures, especially ones from more Japanese mythology, which could be very fun. And option number 4 for how the vampire story starts or sort of comes to be is that this is their origin in the world. Like, we're writing about the very first vampire who comes into being in the Narutoverse, which presumably would be a pretty big what the fuck moment, you know, like the worst kind of bloodline limit ever, I would assume. Like, that's just not very useful. Like sure, you're immortal, you know, and you can, I guess, leech power off of other people, and both of those things are very appealing to the right type of person. But there's a lot of drawbacks associated with vampirism that I think would make it very difficult to operate within a shinobi system. Oh no, unless there was something like Root. Oh, maybe Root is full of vampires. That could be pretty fun. And, well, if I'm gonna go that route, you know, maybe Sai is our vampire. I mean, you have to change things so, of course, that he's not actually out in the daylight, or there's a reason why he suddenly could be when, you know, it comes time to integrate into Team 7. But, you know, that could be fun. So I guess I was hoping to get some input on one of those 4 options, like what you find interesting and compelling and what you would like to read. I know that I am reading a vampire story currently being written by Black Cat, who is fabulous in all ways, and they have gone the route of a sort of switch to a more modern type universe, where the vampires have always been there, but there's kind of a secret society thing going on. So of course there's a big supernatural cast of different types of people and creatures. And that's fun, that's classic, and of course Black Cat pulls off everything they try to do. But I guess I wanted to do something in the actual Narutoverse, because I'm not sure I've really seen that. Yeah. So there's those 4 considerations. If the vampire is an intrusion of a modern Western conception of a vampire straight into the Narutoverse, which would be pretty easy to play funny. Option 2, the vampires have always been there, and it's pretty open, so probably they're part of somebody's military at least. I kind of want to put them in Kirigakure for some reason. Maybe just the teeth thing. And option 3, they've always been there, but it's secret. And probably with a pretty large cast for that type of thing. And option 4, this vampire is the origin of vampires in the world. Okay? So please provide any comments you have about that and your preferences and any ideas you have. I have clearly done something very, very wrong because I'm not seeing any comments, or maybe just nobody is commenting and I am talking to myself and this will not in fact end up anywhere where anyone can see it. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay to... Sometimes a family is talking to yourself for 20 minutes, 40 minutes after you were supposed to do it. That's a thing, right? And the next consideration that I had gotten to was who I wanted this story to be about. I think Sasuke and Itachi, I think that's too easy, and I don't want to go the Uchiha route. Not that it's been done to death or anything, but I think the connection there is kind of visibly, apparent to the classic style vampire. Like they're pale, they're very good looking, like dark hair, dark eyes, kind of reticent and mysterious, especially since, most of them we don't see for a very, very long time in the Naruto universe, and even then it's, like a few really creepy people or kind of flashbacks to the more normal everyday Uchiha who are now long dead. I don't really want to go that route. I guess kind of like the first issue you'd have to deal with to decide this kind of story is if you want it to be like kind of a solitary vampire story or a community story. If I'm doing a solitary vampire, I'm leaning towards Hinata for some reason. I have not done very much work with writing her, but I think she would be a really interesting vampire. In no small part because I think she would have pretty interesting, like, emotional reactions to the situation that she was finding herself in. Because, of course, like, she is, she's a shinobi, and she understands kind of a shinobi mindset. She's not, she's not total pastoral, sweet baby girl skipping through the daisies, like crying at dead butterflies and things like that. But she does kind of have a gentle, considerate nature. And she internalizes things. So I think it might be very fun to watch what Hinata would do to deal with this very strange situation. And man, the way I'm talking about it almost sounds like a metaphor for puberty, she's going through all these strange changes, and maybe she could talk to her mentor Kurenai about it, but she doesn't, and it would be far too strange to talk to her teammates about it because they just wouldn't understand. Wow, that's so terrible and so cheesy. Tell me if you want to see that. Outside of that, outside of using a sort of current classic Naruto cast character, it could also be an intrusion. So, like, the vampire could be the protagonist or the antagonist. And I guess, just what are you interested in? I'm hoping to get a few comments about what your ideas about what you want to see on this. And I'm going to try to edit this because currently it has almost 40 minutes of runtime, and I suspect I've only been talking for about 10 minutes. Yeah, I am very sorry for my gross incompetence. Usually I have someone to help me with these kinds of things, but I'm flying solo today. Yeah. So, thank you for your patience, thank you for your kind and encouraging comments on my increasingly frantic Patreon posts about, oh my god, things are not going as I thought they would. Yeah. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anybody who you would like to see in particular as a vampire, if you want to see this as something that's kind of fun and sympathetic, or if you want to see it where it's kind of played straight Halloween type horror where the vampire is an outside source, which would be really in keeping with the sort of like a vampire literary literary tradition. I remember doing a really fun paper in undergrad that explored how vampirism was actually just a metaphor for kind of, well, to be honest, xenophobia. And Dracula was really othered, and it kind of encouraged all of these truly unfortunate myths and fears about people from the region being depicted. So that's very interesting history, and I guess it might be, I don't know, it might be worthwhile to make it a similar metaphor in the Naruto universe, or it could just be something fun. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm saying goodbye now, but God only knows it will take me 20 minutes to figure out how to shut off this live stream. I'm gonna try closing the encoder and then maybe closing my laptop. That's probably not a good idea, but yeah, that's what I got for you. Alright, thank you for showing up for my incredibly long, but also incredibly short in terms of content first live stream. If I can excuse myself by saying that I'm hideously ill, I am in fact. Does that give me any brownie points? Probably not, because if you've been following me on Tumblr for a while, you already know that I am just very bad with anything more complicated than taking a picture, and I'm not super great at that anyways. Okay? Well, see you. Thanks for tuning in. It claims that 2 of you are watching, so thank you so much. I hope that you had a really good, I think for everybody, mostly Halloween Saturday night is over, so I hope you had a good one. Okay, bye-bye.